Hi Ron, today I'll be reading to you The Crow and the Pitcher, retold by Emma Carlson, Berne, illustrated by Tim Palin. As I read, I want you to think about what happens and pay close attention to what happens in the beginning, in the middle, and the end of the story. And when I'm done reading, I want you to go and tell someone about what happened in the story. Enjoy! The Crow and the Pitcher. Aesop was a storyteller who wrote hundreds of stories called fables. These stories often have animals for characters. Each short story is meant to teach a moral or lesson. In this fable, a thirsty crow tries to get a drink of water from a deep pitcher, but she can't reach the water. How does she solve her problem? Read and sing along to find out. The day was hot. The crow was too. A pitcher stood nearby. Water, please, the poor crow thought. Or, oh, I just might cry. The pitcher held some water cool, but only way down deep. The crow tried hard to take a sip, but her beak just wouldn't reach. When you have a problem, don't just sit and cry. Look hard to find an answer. You'll see one if you try. She reached in from the left and right, and even from the air. She twisted, turned, and jammed her beak as far down as she dared. But that pitcher was too deep. She flapped away so sad. Then as she spotted a pile of rocks, a clever thought she had. When you have a problem, don't just sit and cry. Look hard to find an answer. You'll see one if you try. The crow picked up a little rock and held it in her beak. She dropped it in the pitcher with a plickety plink plink plink. In she tossed another rock and another the same way. She worked so hard that she just knew she'd had a drink that day. When you have a problem, don't just sit and cry. Look hard to find an answer. You'll see one if you try. As she piled the rocks inside, the water rose up high. At last it reached the pitcher's rim. The crow let out a sigh. I helped myself, I didn't quit. I took some time to think. Now it's time for my reward. And that crow, she took a drink. When you have a problem, don't just sit and cry. Look hard to find an answer. You'll see one if you try. When you have a problem, don't just sit and cry. Look hard to find an answer. You'll see one if you try. And that's the end of the story. I hope that you enjoyed the fable. And I look forward to reading to you soon.